What's up, YouTube? What's up to all of you that are in the Discord? Welcome back to another market analysis. So we're going to keep this kind of straightforward, guys. I'm just going to go ahead and break down what I'm looking at for the week, potential trades that we are trying to take this week, and basically just a whole market analysis and what's going on in the charts. All right. It is April, guys, so it is second quarter. So make sure that the last 3 months, you go ahead and review what you did the last 3 months, making sure you're hitting your goals. If you're not hitting your goals, look at your routine, ask yourself why you're not hitting your goals, and basically just restart, right? We're 25% into the year. There's so much more time, guys, that we have in this year left alone. So do not get discouraged. We have a lot more time. If you're working on some faded accounts, keep working. If you're working on challenge accounts, keep working, right? There's so much time left. Do not stop now. Stay consistent. Stay dedicated and keep going. All right, we're in second quarter. Just make sure you keep that in mind. Rewrite your goals out. Write your quarterly goals out. Write your monthly goals out. Write your weekly goals, your daily goals. Make sure you are planning and you're keeping yourself in order, right? We want to stay disciplined, okay? That's the main thing with trading, guys. You want to stay disciplined, okay? That's the key thing with trading. So let's get into the charts and talk about what I'm looking at, and let's get straight into it. So here on DXY, we kind of see what's going on, guys. So we talked about this in the live call. PSA on the live calls. We will resume tomorrow, right? Tomorrow being Wednesday. I'm not sure when you guys are watching this, but we will resume tomorrow, Wednesday, the 2nd, okay, with our live calls, live trading during New York session, okay? So make sure you keep that in mind. We will be back. So on the 4-hour time frame, we talked about this area here last week just being this imbalance, okay? So simply put, guys, we can already see that this market is still bearish, okay? We see the impulse to the downside is like huge, right? Go on daily time frame, look at these major impulses. All right, so basically what we were looking at here is as the market was giving me this range, and this is not a big enough range for me to say that this market is going to turn around yet. First of all, we can come down here. I would need to see us take out some liquidity first and then another impulse. The main reason why I am not confident that this market is turning around just yet is because we haven't seen the impulses just yet. We're not seeing this type of rally, okay? We're not seeing buyers be aggressive just yet. So what I'm thinking is we can still get some more pushes to the downside here into this area here, which is where the origin is, okay? This is where this whole move started. So I think we can still get that to the downside. Now, guys, on the daily time frame, if we start seeing some impulsive candles that's giving us great movement towards the upside, then that might be a different story. But look at it right now. We're not seeing that right now, okay? We're not seeing imbalance on the daily time frame. We're not seeing none of that. And the reason why I mentioned imbalance is because when you see imbalance, that means impulsive movements. Impulsive movements are created by institutions, by banks, by big players in the market. Okay, it could be whatever bank it is. But when you're seeing those impulses and you're seeing the imbalances, or some people call it fair value gaps, within those impulses, that means that there's a lot of money flowing in the markets around that price range. So we already know what fair value gap is. We already know what imbalance is. Okay, it's just a gap in the market. All right, so when you see that, that typically means that we have larger players in the market because they're putting so much money in the market that the other side is not getting a chance to get in. Okay, so looking at DXY here, what do we see? We trade into the imbalance, fair value gap, whatever. All right, now going down to the 1 hour here, what did we get? We got a change of character after that, right? We can see we had this nice order flow going towards the upside. Look at this low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high. And you see we broke that order flow. And we're going to talk about order flow as well. I have a video for that coming out with you guys and how to follow this order flow and what to look for, and look for easy trades inside this order flow, because look at all of these buying opportunities that you could have taken as this market was going towards the upside. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in a video coming up this week. But This low being broken here is invalidating our order flow. Okay, that means we have a change of character. What does that mean? So the market has reacted inside of an imbalance, right? An imbalance fair value gap, and we create a change of character. That means potentially now the market it has looking like it wants to reverse. And for my guys in the Discord that knows to buy Wyckoff, look at these drives. All right, look at these drives that we have. Now, this could potentially be our test, right? Because as you guys see here, this area is important because this is the area here that took out Asian highs. And look at the impulse, right? Look immediately what we have, guys. This is how you know when sellers are in control of the market. Look at this impulse. Look at this fair value gap. Look at these imbalances, okay? Look at this major movement to the downside after we got this manipulation of Asian highs, after we mitigated or traded into the fair value gap. So what does that mean? So, boom, here, this is what's currently holding us. All right, meaning if this area holds and the market does not trade above this high and we start continuing lower, I'm going to expect this market to break this low and for us to continue lower back into this area down here. So potentially what that could be is a redistribution. So the market will go lower, lower, break this low here, probably get another pullback to come lower. Once we break this low here, we'll probably get another pullback to mitigate this whole area. And then the market will continue lower like this, right? This is an ideal scenario if the market is gonna go lower. All right, now, if we break this high, right? If we break this high, guys, I'm gonna expect this to continue higher, probably to the next imbalance or just some more retracements towards the upside. All right, that's what I'm looking at on DXY. And why is that important? EU. All right, that's important because of EU. So when we're looking at EU here, what do we see? So I'm gonna go down here. I kind of erased all of my analysis here on the past, right? I just erased everything. So we want to look at this with a naked eye, naked chart. What do we have? Highs to lows on the 4-hour time frame. So let me just do that simply here. Highs to lows, right? Boom. We know that we are in premium pricing. There we go. There's our premium pricing here. And what do we see here? So what happened with EU? All right, we see we got this major change of character right here. Here's our major change of character of that low. Boom. Right after we tapped into the premium pricing, we tapped into the 71. So market, we see the market going lower. And this is what I want you guys to pay attention to here is this order flow. I'm going to talk about this. Look at this order flow to the downside. We got the high, creates the low. Got the high, which creates this low. We got this high, which creates that low. All right, so we have bearish order flow showing that sellers are in control, right? We only look for this bearish order flow after the change of character, okay? After the change of character. The change of character is just a sign that, hey, we are in premium pricing. We're seeing evidence that sellers are trying to take over because we're invalidating lows. Okay, we're creating breaks of structure to the downside. All right, so now that we see this bearish order flow to the downside, look what happens. We invalidate that bearish order flow. So as soon as we invalidate that bearish order flow here, here's what happens. Look at this impulse right here that invalidates this order flow, right? We got to break a structure of this high here. So this area, and just put this imbalance here, is currently what's holding order flow. Meaning, if you're trading EU right now, technically you should be looking for longs out of here. Now those long opportunities have already kind of passed away. All right, we have a first reaction here. The market comes back. We're giving a second reaction. Now, what I'm looking for, honestly, guys, I'd be patient here. Do not get it too aggressive. If you didn't get this first entry, if you didn't get into this move here, do not be too aggressive on EU at the moment. Okay, because right now it's purely off order flow. Okay, structure is all the way here. Okay, our structure is all the way down here, which means this market can potentially give us all the way pullback to fill up all of this imbalance and all of that inefficiency. Okay, doesn't mean that it will happen, but just keep that in mind. So right now, technically, we're not trading structure, we're trading the order flow up here. But with that being said, if we do get bearish order flow, that's going to be high probability. Okay, so bearish order flow here is high probability. Why? Because we have bearish structure. So what I'm going to be looking for here on EU, I'm going to be patient. We're going to be patient. That's the first thing. I'm going to be patient. And I either want us to continue to the upside. So I am not doing anything on EU until we break this high, or we invalidate this low. Okay, so, and it depends on how we invalidate that low as well, right? I would honestly like us to invalidate this low. If I'm being honest, this is the main low that I would like to confirm that we're going to go back lower. But this low with an impulsive move will give me enough evidence, right? That'll be an invalidation of demand, which would mean we're able to take a sell if we see an impulsive move that gives us a major push beneath that low, right? If the market just makes its way down here, we're not going to take a sell from here, okay? But if we see this area just create, boom, strong impulsive move, like boom, that could be something we could potentially take a trade off of, okay? Higher probability trade, wait for this low. So this is what I'm waiting for, guys. Since I did not get into this entry right here, I am not looking for anything on EU until we either break this high, right? When we break this high, we will find the next area to buy from and continue this going higher, or we break through this low as well, and we will continue selling lower, filling up all of this imbalance, right? Because our trend, our major structure point is down here, right? You see where we have this huge accumulation. This is where I'd expect us to be a high probability trade. All right, now where we're at right now, we're in premium pricing, so it's going to be more optimal to look for selling opportunities. All right, order flow is not bearish at the moment. We did create that high, so we have to wait for order flow to either get back to bearish, or we can continue following that push that the market originally gave us. Now, I do see as well that we have imbalance up here that we could come and fill, so keep that in mind. This is why I'm actually thinking we could continue going back higher because of that imbalance, but we will see how the markets want to give us that move. All right, so moving on, GU. Now, GU guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I am not looking for anything right now. I don't have a pending trade or a setup on GU just yet. I'm looking for the same thing on GU. All right, you can see I already have the breaker structure at the low, and I didn't put this yet, but breaker structure at the high. These are the two areas that I'm looking for. Right now, we are in a range. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, when the market is ranging, and you're gonna see two examples of that. I'm talking about UCAT and USHEF. You're gonna see I do not trade ranges. Okay, ranges are low probability for me and my trading plan, right? My trading plan says do not trade ranges, so I don't trade ranges. We're not going to be looking for anything within here for now. Going even on the 1 hour time frame, you can see this market is just going back and forth in here, right? We're just taking out liquidity. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want you guys to be a part of that. So avoid ranges if possible, all right? So what I'm going to be looking for here, guys, is you can see technically we do have a range. If I go here on the higher time frame, what do you guys see, right? Higher time frame, I'll go to the daily time frame here. Daily time frame is bullish. All right, let me this here. We get our low. To our high. And then low here, you can see we never made a new low to our high. So also imbalance here as well. So we do have areas to the low that we can target. Now moving on to the 1 hour, here's where we're at. Okay, so right now, like I said, either this market goes lower, invalidate this low, and we continue to sell it to the downside, or we go higher, invalidate this high, and we continue longs towards the upside. Okay, it's either going to be one of those things. If it's not one of those things, we're not going to be trading this. All right, so keep your trading as simple as possible, guys. I'm not going to mess around with this. So moving along, AU. And I'll just keep AU kind of simple. There's our low. There's our high. You guys can see we traded back into the 50%. We take out all this liquidity that we were talking about on the last live here. So what I'm looking for here on AU, guys, is I want to see if we can push higher, breaking this high. Once we break this high, I'll start buying this market aggressively. So that'll be our break of structure towards the upside. Boom. So let's see here on AU. I'll be looking for potential opportunities to take us higher. We have a lot of liquidity above here. Okay, so to be honest, I don't have anything on the lower time frame that we can take at the moment. We don't have any manipulations. You guys can see Asian lows is still here. We don't have anything here. We do have this impulse, but we don't have a manipulation that created that impulse. So I'm not going to be taking anything off of that. But I do believe potentially this week we will come and take out these highs. So that could be a target for you guys right now. I would wait for a setup first. I don't really see anything yet. And by setup, I mean wait for a range, wait for a manipulation. That's really the main thing, is wait for that manipulation. And then you could probably take an entry off of that manipulation here and take this higher just to take out all of this liquidity here. Now, technically this here itself is a manipulation, but the manipulation is not, this is not confirmed until we break this high, right? So that's why I was saying if we push higher like this, this will be the area we can trade from to take this market higher. But at the moment, since this is not confirmed until we break this high, what you need to do is on the lower time frame, since we know we have a potential manipulation and we know the market is bullish, right? We know structure is bullish. We know we should be looking for buys. We're at the 50%. So what for now, what we can do is here, since this manipulation has happened, what you can do is you can look on the lower time frame here for another manipulation that you could take at the moment to target this liquidity. Okay, but right now, I wouldn't take anything out of this. I'd wait for the market to actually create something that we can visually see, something like that, and you can take that trade to take out all this liquidity. Okay. Now, moving on to UCAD. UCAD. I'm sorry for my UCAD traders. I am very sorry. But, man, this price action right here, I can't do it. All right. You guys can see we're just in a huge range right now. Until we exit this range, guys, I'm going to leave UCAD alone. And UCAD is a beautiful pair. I won't lie to you. This pair can be very beautiful, right? You can see here, look at this beautiful order flow right here. This is another major range. Look at this beautiful impulse, right? Look at that expansion move. There's probably a lot of reaccumulations, a lot of demand zones in there that you could have taken. But when the market is like this is when you want to be trading, right? When you have obvious trend, obvious range, right? Well, not obvious range, but obvious expansion moves, right? When the market is like this, and you guys know we're trading supply and demand, we're trading liquidity, we're trading Wyckoff. Look at all of these potential areas here that got stopped out, and the market is still in the same range. It's still at the same price point, right? So we don't want to be taking pointless losses here. So just be careful on UCAD. I am not looking for anything until we exit the range. And by exit the range, I mean until we break this low or until we break that high. Okay, so there's plenty of other markets to look at. Just leave it on the side for now. Same thing with USHEF, but USHEF is a little bit closer to where I want it to be. So as you guys can see here, this is the latest high right here that created this low. Now, we did create this huge range right here, but we did manipulate that range. You guys can see we have a nice liquidity pool that got manipulated. And what really caught my attention here was the impulse, right? Look at these candles, the impulsive move right here. All that I need is for us to break this high. Once we break this high, guys, whether it be, we have a nice imbalance. I'll keep this here on the 4 hour, nice imbalance 4 hour there. Whether it be, let's say we come lower and then we move back up, or we go higher. Depending on what this move is, this is going to be the most important part, okay? If this is an impulsive move towards the upside, we would just take a trade off of this area and take this higher. We also have imbalance here as well that the market could come and fill. Okay, but if this move just is slow, this is going to be where we're going to take the trade. Okay, so those two areas are the areas that I'm looking at. I do think that USHIF will continue higher. I just need the confirmation. Once we get the confirmation, we will take the trade. Okay, UJ. Let's zoom out here on UJ. Here's our daily time frame. To our high. 4 hour is bearish, right? Since we did break this low. All right, that's the 4 hour. 1 hour is bearish as well, since we broke this low here. So our 4 hour and our 1 hour is bearish at the moment. We have a nice distribution up here, and we're seeing the market is giving us clear impulsive movements to the downside. Now, zooming into here, let's go to the 1 hour time frame. What are we looking for? What can we trade? What do we see? All right, this high right here still has not gotten broken, right? This manipulation. Market failed to take out this high. Market failed to take out that high. Draw our fibs real quick. Let's see. We traded back into 50%. We barely hit it. Barely hit it. All right, we traded back into 50% here. So we have a change of character. Change of character. Let's go bottom. And we're going to take the yen basket as well. Boom. We have a change of character right there, right? We don't have any impulse in here, unfortunately, or any manipulations here, unfortunately. That's the only thing that I'm looking for. So what I would look for here, guys, is I need to see some type of manipulation of something, right? Either we come up here and take out these highs. Let's say the market come up here, take out these highs, and then we push lower, right? Or let me just keep this here. That's going to be our break of market structure to the low. Or this price action right here, let's get a manipulation of something, and then we get a push that takes out this low, and then we'll look for sales, right? That's what I'm looking for here on UJ. I'm going to look for sales to the downside since we got that change of character. We just need that manipulation. We need to see it. Remember, guys, if you don't see a manipulation, you probably are the manipulation. Okay, because before the market moves, we're going to take liquidity. We're going to fill orders. So in order for institutions, in order for banks to get their orders filled, they have to manipulate. They have to get their orders filled, right? So most of the time, you're going to see a manipulation. So it's best to wait for it than to anticipate it. Okay, right now, this is not the clearest thing to take, so we need a clear setup to happen. This is the clearest setup that I would like to see. Either let's just take something and let's break the low, right? Let's just take a high, take any of these highs, whether it be Asian session, it doesn't matter. We just need the market to take some type of liquidity to the upside, manipulate the upside, and we need to push lower, breaking the low, okay? And we will take an entry right off of that, right? The setups are simple. The only hard part is patience, waiting for the market to actually create the move. Waiting for the markets to actually give you what you're looking for. So it's really discipline, guys. You have to be disciplined and you have to be patient and waiting for the market to give you what you want to see. All right. Gold. Gold is crazy. Gold is pushing and it's pushing and it's pushing. All right. I told you guys about 3,000. It's already hit it, right? If you go back, way back, we were talking about gold since like 2007-50, since all the way like down here. Where is it at? All the way down here. We've talking about gold all the way down here. We've been talking about gold for a while. This market is going to keep going. Okay, so next targets for gold is probably going to be 3,500 on the institutional price point side. Now that's a long ways to go at the moment, so expect some pullbacks. All right, we can already see it happening right now. Now honestly, I would like for us to come down and fill this gap. That's the main thing that I'd look for, is for us to come down and fill this gap. The highest probability area, guys, is going to be down here. Here's your last obvious manipulation. So, right, this is going to be the highest probability area, right? If gold come back into here, this is where you want to buy. All right, now, up here, you want to be kind of cautious. You want to be kind of cautious up here. So we have a slight manipulation here. As you can see, we have a manipulation of these lows right here. You can see we take out all these lows before we continue going higher. Now, you can look for trades in here. This is where I would be looking for trades at right now. You can see we're getting into the 50%. Understand, in these areas right here, since this does not have the impulsive move with the imbalance that we usually look for, right? We don't see a clear impulse. We see that Asian session is what's giving us the rest of this move, right? We see the candles are a little slow. We don't see the imbalance, the fair value gap in here for the market to come and fill. What am I trying to say? Be cautious, okay? I know you're seeing this chart right now. For those of you that's probably looking at this and watching this in the future, you probably knows what happens, right? In hindsight. But what I'm telling you right now is be cautious, okay? I would not take a trade from here unless we see a confirmation entry. What does a confirmation entry looks like? We need to see on the lower time frame, 1 minute or the 5 minute, preferably the 5 minute if you want something more safe. You just want to see the market give you a tiny range, right? It doesn't have to be a huge range. A tiny range, some manipulation of the lows, a change of character or a break of structure, whatever, right? You just need to see the market give you these things that is showing you that buyers are getting into the market, right? And the best thing to look for is that range, manipulation, break of the high. That's your confirmation entry. If you do not see that here, don't take this. Reason why is what I just told you guys. Look at this imbalance right here that the market could potentially come and fill. Okay, which it looks like that's where it wants to come into. And I already told you guys, this is where you want to set a limit order. If you're going to set a limit order anywhere, that's where you do it. Okay, that's going to be your highest probability area. That's going to be the area you want to be aggressive. Right now, you want to be passive. You just want to be patient. You want to wait. Now, honestly, once we break this low, I would start looking for shorts, right? Look for the pullback, probably back into this price action, and start looking for shorts towards the downside. All right, to come and fill this and to target this area here. Okay. Let's move on. Let's go to GJ. And I'm gonna go to the 4 hour here. I started looking at this already. You guys can see we have a bearish structure on the 4 hour. One hour here, we still have a bearish structure. Now, what we were looking at on GJ is we were looking at the order flow, right? No, this high, this low, this high, this low, this high, this low, this high, this low, this high. Boop. What happens? We break this low. Okay. The change of character, this is actually incorrect. This is supposed to be break of structure. And many are probably asking me, why is this a change of character? What happened? Okay. This is all you need to see. See that clear manipulation of these lows, Asian lows, and then you see this impulse right here. Market invalidates that. Guys, it takes money for the market to create this move. Okay, so if you see the market is invalidating this move, that means whatever buyers that was here trying to make this move are not strong enough. What does that tell us? It tells us we have weak buyers at this price point. So if we have weak buyers, sellers are stronger than buyers, we should be looking for selling opportunities. So what am I looking for here on GJ? Now, I'm looking for us to take out these highs. All right, I'm looking for a manipulation of these highs and then a break lower, breaking this low, and I will be selling this to the downside. All right, targeting this liquidity. That's currently what I'm looking for here. I'm not taking any selling opportunities out of here. Reason why? We don't have any imbalance, right? We don't have the impulse that we're looking for. You can see here we had that impulse that gives us that clear move. Inside of here, we don't have the imbalance, guys. Everything is already filled. You can see this area is already filled, and then we just have liquidity. So if the market does not create something here, and let's say we just continue going higher, fine. We'll start buying the market again, right? But we're not gonna anticipate that happening. We can't anticipate that yet. We need the market to actually move and show us where it wants to go. So like I've been trying to tell you guys, just be patient, right? The move is going to show itself. The setup is going to come. The market is going to create the move that you're looking for. Just be patient and wait. All right. So we're looking for those selling opportunities right now. I'm going to see what we do once we break these highs, see if we can get a move lower, and we will continue taking those sells lower. All right. If the market explodes and we just continue going higher like this, we will continue buying the market. Okay. We have scenarios, we have opportunities for both sides of the market. Okay, we can trade both sides of the market, guys. All right, we don't have to stick to one side and that's it. Okay, we're traders. Okay, we're not trading stocks, we're not investing in stocks, we're trading. So we can long and we can short. We can make money on both sides of the market. Our job is to wait for the setup. Once the setup appears, whether it's a buying setup, a selling setup, you take the setup. Okay, CAD. 4-hour time frame, bearish. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the yen basket as well. This is why I stopped looking for buys on these yen pairs, because we're looking at this here. Look at this later structure right here on the yen basket from this low to this high. You can see we have a pretty nice distribution, right? But let's look at the structure. Structure is more important than the distro. All right, you can see we trade back into the 71, into the 80, and look at that reaction towards the upside. Look at that impulse, right? I'm waiting for us to create this breaker structure right here. Once we create this breaker structure, that's super ugly. Let me just do this. Boom. All right, once we create that, that'll confirm for me the bearish market cycle on these JPY pairs. So moving on to back to CAD, right? We can see we have this 4-hour going to the downside. Let's go to the 1 hour. Where's our latest 1 hour leg? That is going to be from this high up here. Let's see if I could find this real quick. I should take this. Right, this is our high. Right there, that creates this low. Okay, and let's draw our fibs. You can see we came back into 50%, right? And we're getting a reaction. All right, but we still have to remember order flow. Okay, so order flow was broken up here, low, high, low, high. So I'm looking to see if we're going to break this low. That's what I want to see. That'll be my change of character. If I get this, we are selling the hell out of this. Okay? We are going to sell the hell out of this. For now, I am watching the market here. I do see that we are getting this accumulation in here. We haven't invalidated yet. So I will be watching and seeing what potential buying opportunities we can take inside of here, if we can take any. If we can take any buying opportunities, we will look for those buying opportunities. Okay, so far, I do see what we're creating. Don't have any manipulations yet, so this can be a manipulation here. So one of two things: either if this market goes higher and we're holding the structure, we will buy, okay? But if we do something like this, we are going to short. All right, so that's kind of where I'm at right now on CAD-J. Just waiting to see what the move is going to create. Which way are we going to go? Are we going to see buyers getting and we're going to see more impulsive move to the upside? Or do we completely sell off and go lower? Okay. AJ. Into here, and I'm just going to use our last leg just to keep it kind of simple, because this is mainly the same price action. What do you guys see? Boom. Right, we trade into the 71 here, filling up all of this imbalance. Okay, so same thing here. Now AJ is a lot better. I will say price action wise is a lot better. So what I'm looking for here, guys, is I'm just looking for a manipulation of these highs right here. Let's manipulate these highs, get the impulse to the downside, something like that, right? So put this here, boom. That'll be our breaker structure to the bottom. And order flow, this high, this low, this high, this low. We failed to make a new high. And we made a low. So technically, yes, we are technically right now in a range. But that does not matter to me because we traded into premium pricing. So the highest probability trade here is going to be looking for shorts. All right, so we're going to look for a manipulation of these highs or any highs that it creates. And we're going to look for a break of the low, which is going to be this low for now. Maybe tomorrow, Asian session creates something and we get a manipulation that is also something with the breaker structure. That is also something you can trade to the downside because we technically are bearish, right? This is bearish. We did trade into premium pricing. So that is something you could look for, but we need the setup to happen first. You don't want to be aggressive right now. All right, be cautious. Don't be aggressive. Moving on to the ACAD. Talked about the AU earlier. Moving on to ACAD here. I'm looking for sales on ACAD as well. I just need something clear. I need us to actually come up here and take out all of this liquidity that we've been forming. Until then, we're going to be patient, but I'm just looking for something clear. Either that or technically so far what I do see here, what did we do today? Took out these highs, right? You guys can see we just took out these highs. So we invalidated that main low. This will be an external break right here. We put an alert there. If we can make our way down here, we will sell this lower. Okay, that's what we would do. Until then, I want to see if we can just come up and take out this bubble. But yes, I am looking for sales on ACAD, guys. You guys can see we have a major distribution here. So I am looking for those selling opportunities. I just need the market to expand. You guys can see we're kind of moving back and forth. We're in a range. Remember, we don't like trading ranges. So once we exit this to the downside, I will sell and we will look for a lot of selling opportunities to the downside. Okay. Let's see if I like anything here on GCAD real quick. Liquidity above the highs. Trade it back into here. I feel like it could get better. I feel like it could be better. Technically we changed right here. We got the breaker to change the character right there. Structure, technically we are bullish still, but look how far, right guys, look how far our structure point is. We have to keep that in mind. Why? Because if our structure point is down here, that means if we can start seeing sellers take over at these highs right here, we can start taking advantage of those sells to get back into demand, right? So that is something that I'm potentially looking out for. You guys can see I have this low here that I'm watching. I just need to start seeing some impulses, right? This is a nice impulse today. We did not break the low just yet, so I still need that confirmation, right? We know that's one of our confirmations. We need a break of structure. So once I start seeing those breaks to the downside, we can start taking it lower, because this market, technically, we invalidated this low right here. So this low created this high. So technically order flow is bearish. If I draw my fibs from this high to this low, look where we're at. We traded back into 50%. So if I start seeing impulses that are breaking lows, that are creating manipulations, breaking lows, we can take sells. Okay, we just need to start seeing that. All right. NAS is going crazy today, from what I've been seeing. So we have a nice impulse. Well, we have a nice manipulation today. So we can see yesterday we got the same thing, right? We have the manipulation of the lows. Market moves higher. Today we have another one, manipulation of the lows. Market moves higher. Now, honestly, I think this is going to continue to happen until we fill up all this imbalance right here. So tomorrow I will look for the same thing, right? If you're trading NAS, if you're trading NQ, ES, if you're trading YM, we're in a bullish market cycle at the moment. We're manipulating lows. You guys can see we're taking out Asian lows here. That's an imbalance, right? This is a clear 5-minute imbalance right here that you guys can look for. Let's say later today we come lower. Tomorrow inside of this area here, I'll specifically be looking in here on the lower time frame to see if we can get any reactions, try to take this higher. But anywhere inside of here, guys, is going to be your area to look for buys on this market. So anything this wick right here, that's going to be what you're looking for to try to take this higher and fill up all of this imbalance, right? See if we can get that pullback, come back up. We do have a nice doji here as well that the market could trade from, but use that as targets, right? We're going to target that area for now. Okay, you can see a nice 30-minute candle. Same thing here on XPX. Manipulation, well, accumulation. Here's our manipulation of the lows. There's your impulse to the upside, right? US 30, here's our accumulation. We have a bigger manipulation here on US 30 here. There's your impulse. Okay, so indices right now, this week, we are seeing bullish market cycle. We are seeing the market is manipulating lows and going higher. So I would look for that, especially on NQ, because we do have a lot of imbalance up here that we are looking to target. Okay, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys for being a part of it. Thank you guys for joining and listening to me break down these charts. I will see you guys in the next one. See you in the live calls. We're resuming tomorrow, depending on when you're watching this. Just know that we're resuming the calls. All right, peace out, guys.